Welcome to UNCP. My name is Madison Schwenneker, and I work as the AmeriCorps Vista for the Office of Leadership, Learning, and Community. I graduated from UNCP in May of 2024. During my time there, I worked in housing, I worked for the bowling alley, won a few awards. Thank you. And I'm so proud to be doing my service year here in Pembroke, North Carolina. On July 5th, 2005, the University of North Carolina at Pembroke became North Carolina's historically American Indian University because of its strong ties to the Lumbee tribe of North Carolina. Since the inception of UNCP in 1887, the focus has been to uplift and empower American Indians in the area. Since then, UNCP has dedicated itself to serving students of all kinds. As a volunteer in service to America, a VISTA, our goal is to create sustainable, lasting change in areas that affect poverty. We handle the behind-the-scenes work, the paperwork, the volunteer recruitment, the training, the advertising, whatever volunteer and community-focused programs need to keep going. By building capacity, AmeriCorps Vistas help programs grow stronger and reach more people, ensuring that service efforts create lasting change in the communities that the Vistas serve.
Leadership, Learning, and Community supports student success by enhancing community engagement, developing leadership potential, and fostering civic responsibility through high-impact, community-based learning opportunities. During my time here, my focus was with a youth mentoring program called Brave Foundations. Brave Foundations visits local housing authorities twice a week to mentor the youth. At Lumberton Housing Authority, we create the curriculum, and at Pembroke Housing Authority, we assist the curriculum already in place. It was my job to evaluate the program and work to improve it throughout my year as a VISTA. Thankfully, I didn't have to do this by myself. I had the assistance of some awesome student leaders, Gabe, Bavin, and Layla. Without them, I don't think I could have made any of this possible, so thank you. Together, it was up to us to evaluate our audience of volunteers and the kids that we're serving to ensure that the program is operating effectively and getting continual volunteers.
While doing research about Robeson County, I found out that 68% of adults in Robeson County don't have a college degree. This means if those adults go on to have children, they would grow up to be first-generation college students. Matter of fact, currently 1.2 million children in the state of North Carolina would be first generation if they chose to go to college. When driving into Pembroke, there's a sign that reads Town Tribe University. The tribe and the university are so integrated into this town and into this community. With that being said, UNCP is a part of the NC Promise tuition plan. This plan ensures that 4 universities across North Carolina have affordable tuition, increasing education accessibility for all. Couple that with UNCP's strong commitment to first-generation college students and the fact that a lot of adults around here are not getting college degrees, I found my VISTA project focus. I'm sure all of us have heard or seen something incredibly discouraging about college before we went. Something like, that's not gonna fly in college, or you better shape up before you get to college. Those kind of things can be incredibly discouraging for a kid who knows nothing about university life. Now, we couldn't bring every student from the housing authorities onto campus to show them really what it's like to be in college, but we could bring pieces of our university to them. With the help of my student leads, we brought 6 campus organizations to the housing authority. Our own office, LLC, Counseling and Psychological Services, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, Latin Student Association, Women's Soccer Club, and Chemistry and Physics Club. With those organizations, we got to show the kids that college isn't just what you see on movies and TV or hear about in the classroom. College can be so much more. There's endless opportunities to make friends, find where you belong, and have all of the resources you would need to succeed. A lot of our students had never even heard of Greek life before. They didn't know about a lot of the social opportunities that happen in a university setting. It was so awesome watching the kids learn about college through the eyes of people who are experiencing it. Also, it was awesome to see the student volunteers show their passions on a scale they hadn't done it before. We also had the task of recruiting and keeping volunteers coming week after week. To do this, we tried to offer some fun and educational opportunities for our volunteers to create bonds within each other, not just with the kids that they're mentoring. In November, we hosted a Brave Foundation's Thanksgiving for volunteers to get together in a social setting without the kids that they're mentoring to encourage them to build bonds within one another. If they're friends with each other, then they might want to meet up and come hang out with us every week for volunteering. The student leads and I also created a first-generation simulation. This simulation showed people what it was like to be first generation. We figured if volunteers understood the path the kids would potentially cross someday, they might be better able to mentor them right now. This simulation was chosen to be presented at the Impact National Conference in Richmond, Virginia. Gabe, Baven, Layla, and I packed up, went, and presented. It was a wild success. Everyone loved it, had a good time, and walked away learning something new. My favorite part of that day was when the student leads were presenting the first portion of the simulation. I was looking up the statistics for how many first-generation college students are at the institution of each of the people in the room. And then at the end of the presentation, we pulled up a slide with those statistics and they were blown away. We brought it close to home. We made people realize that this is happening everywhere. First-generation college students are struggling across the country. As college students, we're in such a unique position to be able to help the transition from high school to college for students who might not have anyone else to ask these questions to. Also, Baven and I created and hosted a community building workshop for students to learn about community while building gingerbread houses together. Again, promoting that social aspect to help enhance our mentoring abilities. Ultimately, our mentors did become friends. They were frequently seen getting food together in the cafeteria, coming week after week, bringing other friends to the program and any other events we hosted. The van rides to and from the housing authorities were filled with music and laughter and conversation. Brave Foundations ended up having a 55% return rate on volunteers, meaning 55% of volunteers came back week after week. 11 of our volunteers ended up coming to the program 5 or more times. 3 of our volunteers ended up coming to the program 10 or more times. On top of their success within our program, these students invested themselves in other areas of our office, with many of our mentors getting involved with Next Gen Leads, a peer-to-peer mentor program here on our campus, and winning some of the awards given out by different offices on campus. I like to believe that these mentors set up a strong foundation for their time here at UNCP by being mentors in our program, Brave Foundations. It was such a joy working with Brave Foundations. However, during my time as a Vista, I got to work on a bunch of different things. Any opportunity presented to me, I took. I wanted to learn as much as I could during my time. During my first month here, I helped out with Welcome Week, introducing the new freshmen to our office and our programming. Additionally, I did the same thing during Homecoming Week. I also had the chance to take the charge on a couple different projects, including the Special Olympics Spring Games. This event brings students from all over Robeson County onto our campus to participate with the Special Olympics. I had the opportunity to collaborate with individuals from the community as well as faculty and staff from our campus. The event was such a success. We had over 240 participants as well as 200 volunteers from the campus and the surrounding community. Outside of the more than 50 events I directly hosted or assisted in hosting, I had many opportunities to interact with other Vista members within my cohort. We spent some time in Elon, near High Point, we even went to Chicago. An opportunity in particular that really stuck out to me was the Carolina Hunger Initiative Conference at UNC Chapel Hill. This conference brought educators and food experts from all over North Carolina to talk about childhood hunger. The governor even spoke. It was a pretty cool event. In March, I got to go to Chicago again, helping out with our alternative spring break trip. It was an awesome opportunity to bring some students that I had worked with all year with Brave Foundations to Chicago to do volunteering in a different environment. In Chicago, we provided each of the students with junk journals. During the day, we all collected our bits of trash and scraps or things we found on the ground to put in our journal to remember our time in Chicago. This opened up conversations about sustainability while also allowing our students the opportunity to reflect on the work that they were doing there. Finally, I created a program planning guide so students could host events by themselves long after I was gone. This guide is already being utilized by students in our office, and it's being utilized by me as a writing sample on job applications. Overall, I had a wonderful year filled with events, opportunity, and growth. The question remains, what is next for Maddie Schwenneker? And to that I say, your guess is as good as mine! I'm just kidding. In all seriousness, I'm not too sure what's next. The job market is hectic and crazy, and I'm not too sure what it is I'm passionate about. But what I do know is that thanks to UNCP and my time in AmeriCorps, I will always have a heart for community service. We truly are nothing without the communities that surround us, and life can become incredibly lonely if you don't invest yourself into those communities. So, I guess what's next is finding a new community to be a part of, gleaning as much knowledge as I can from it, and then continuing on. Thanks to everybody who has been with me along this journey, my family, my friends, the people in NCCE and in the office of LLC, everyone at UNCP. I could sit here for probably 10 hours thanking people, but if you're watching this, you're the person that I'm thanking. So thank you. I hope you too have learned something from UNCP, and if you've never even been here, I hope you've learned something from my time at UNCP. It's weird being in a place for so long and all of it kind of coming to an end. I guess kind of like this video. I'm not really sure how I should end this. I guess with gratitude. I end this video with gratitude. I end my time here with gratitude. I hope all of you stay in touch. Connect with me on LinkedIn if you're not already. Black and gold float on forever. Julio. One thing I loved about Pembroke was the train. Why is it so slow?